I don't have volume.
Can everyone hear me okay?
Did she say it on?
I should be hearing it through this one.
Okay. So,
Change here.
so just so I'm going to start now. Is everyone okay to start?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're pretty well familiar with who we are and what we do, but, you know, just in summary, we're an all-in-one communication system for schools with the main goals of saving you guys time and money. Now, what we generally find with the schools that we deal with is most schools generally tend to work with a variety of different tools to accomplish, you know, everything from reporting, scheduling, communicating with parents, you know, sending out, you know, newsletters and emails and that kind of thing, which can take up a lot of time. And I'm not sure, you know, which one of you or, you know, maybe all of you are looking after various different tools to kind of accomplish these things. But what we generally find is it can take up to about 2 hours per month per tool to get this stuff done. Over and above that, we also find that, you know, schools are generally spending a lot of money on paper. Now, although paper is necessary for, you know, a lot of functions, I know you generally have to have some physical forms of you know, some of your forms. You know, there are a lot of forms that you can digitize, not only to save money on paper and print, but to be able to collect data to put into your database that, you know, negates you having to input that data yourself. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Eliminate our paper.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit of feedback from someone. I think that might be because you're all in the same room.
We're not.
Oh, there's a few people in the same room. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Rose,
what I would
stay on one.
there you go. Okay.
What if we just set the video, volume on one?
Just have her close out, and you can both be on one.
Close out. Me and Jackie will be on mine, and you and Rose go on yours.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
yeah, we're just getting
with
feedback
that
because
being being able to digitize would then free up also a lot of our paper files if we're able to input all the information.
Exactly. The main goal is to free up your time so that you guys can focus on the things that are actually really important to you. Because, you know, although the data entry and stuff is important, you know, if it can be done in a better way and have the information you need, there's obviously more probably things that you'd probably prefer to be doing than constantly re-entering, you know, information that, you know, you might already have.
Mm-hmm.
So just to give you sort of an overview of the main or core functions of what Hubbli does, everything is really centered around our social groups. And I'll tell you why. So the social groups, what they are, is they're very similar to sort of a Facebook, and I'll go into this in more detail, but what they allow you to do is to categorize people into their respective areas, the most relevant areas. So whether that be a group specifically for faculty, or a group specifically for parents of children in a specific class, it makes sure that anyone that's a part of that group is only receiving the most relevant information. And I'm sure some or all of you might be parents, so, you know, if you have kids in school, you know, and you get a newsletter, sometimes you kind of have to, like, look through the newsletter to find out which information is actually relevant to you and your child, as opposed to, you know, some of the things that may not be relevant to you. So what we try to do is
Can we
go ahead.
interrupt for questions? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, because this was one of my questions, and I just want to clarify and make sure I'm understanding it. So basically, it says, what I'm reading is for email lists. So meaning we could either email the entire school, we could email per classroom, we could email individually. Is that right?
Yep. Absolutely. So this basically replaces email lists. And what I mean by that is, you know, if you're using, say, Gmail and you're collecting the emails of all the parents, it can be very hard to manage because there's nothing really tied to that. With this, basically, every parent and faculty member has their email and their user identity tied to Hubbli. And basically what that does is when they're in their group, they're able to see all the communications for that group, and any communication that's sent out is actually sent directly to their email.
Now,
but it's
is that
all tied within the
input
group.
by me, or is that something that a parent would have to like dial in with a special code and be able to input their information?
No. So basically, and I'll actually let me answer that question on the next slide when I get to it, because it'll answer that for you.
Okay.
As we discussed, also paperless administration, obviously, save money and time where you can in terms of paper. Things that need to be physical, you can print out the digital forms if necessary. But if not, you just want to collect the information, then you can do that digitally without having to waste, time and money on paper and ink. Guaranteed messages, one of the key benefits of the platform is you actually get to see how messages are delivered, so who they're delivered to, if they've actually been opened and read, and by who. So something you don't really necessarily get with email without having a specific tool. You can make sure that the message actually has been received and read.
I have a quick question about the email.
Sure. Yep.
So will our staff be able to have individual email addresses that the parents can email us directly?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, your email addresses aren't going to change or anything like that. I mean, you can use whatever email addresses you're using now. But what happens is any of that information that's spread through Hubbli goes directly to the email. So when a parent responds, they don't actually have to log into Hubbli to respond. They can just respond in the email, and it actually goes in through Hubbli.
I think she means, like, okay, let's say Jackie, for instance, who's a teacher. Now, if one of her parents needs to reach out to her via email, rather than, like, right now we have a school email, where I would read it and then, send it off to whoever's supposed to get it. Would that parent be able to directly just email Jackie via Hubbli for her question?
Yeah, absolutely.
What that was?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you for clarifying. Also, one of our main, core functions that the platform is built around is parent engagement. And, like I said, is making sure that parents have and see the most relevant information, and making sure that you as staff members are sending out that information without having to first edit your list to make sure it's only being received by the right people. That's all done automatically for you. Another thing that we do is scheduling automation. So if you guys do any kind of tours or, parent-teacher meetings or events where there are, parent volunteers, our scheduling allows you to be able to quickly set up, what days and times are available for them, and the parents can actually go in and log in themselves, and it'll eliminate that time for other people.
Can we do some clarification on that?
Yeah.
So, for example, if we have an event that requires sign up from parents, can set up that event. So, are you familiar with Sign Up Genius?
Yep.
Okay, so could we do something like that through Hubbli?
Absolutely.
Like we could put time slots, for instance, for like teacher conferences, and the parents can go on and see what dates, for instance, Jackie's class has available and times, and they could write their name in.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And one of the main things that we have is, we realize, the population that our product is for. I mean, most people we're selling to aren't tech geniuses, and we don't expect you to be. So we want to make sure that, we hold your hand. You know what? You guys figured out doing the video, and I've never seen anyone do the video, so that's cool.
Yay!
But we want to make sure you know where to go if you need any support. If you have any questions, you can email or call our support team anytime, and we're here to help you and make sure that you're not lost. You don't go down a black hole now. And know exactly what
my email question got answered yet, though, or is that on the next page? Did you say?
Yeah, it's coming right now.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Okay.
So this is just a little bit more in detail of what groups are. So, like you were talking about, focus on groups so much is because the groups kind of dictate what happens in the rest of the platform. because the groups are responsible for separating everyone and putting them in the specific areas that dictate where communication goes. So we associate groups with things like Facebook. So, everyone knows Facebook. You have your page with your timeline where people can post comments and pictures and videos and all that kind of stuff. That's essentially what a group is. But it also incorporates things like, Google Docs, Flickr for, pictures and media, SurveyMonkey, or, Sign Up Genius. All those functionalities are held within that group, so that all the relevant information and tools that parent or faculty member needs are there. So here's to getting to your question about the email. So this is an example of what a group page looks like. It's class 104. It could be for any class that you guys have, or any group functionality. On the left side of the screen, you'll see the things that are accessible. So documents relevant to the group, any members for the group events that are specific for this area, any media that's been shared, so photos, videos, anything like that, and any forms that are only specifically for this group. So the cool thing about that is if you have forms that are specific to one class, they will only see those forms. So there can be no confusion on any forms that, if they've missed a form and they need to go find it, whatever, they can go in there, find the form, fill it out, and you're good to go.
That still wasn't my question, though.
No, I know, I'm getting to that.
Oh, okay, just want to be sure. Okay.
No, that's okay, that's okay.
I deal with that all the time, and it drives me nuts. Okay.
That's fine. So here is where all the communication would happen for the group. You can send a comment in here, attach picture or email, attach picture or media, anything like that. And what happens here is it actually gets sent out to the parents' emails. And from there, they can actually respond from their email. They don't have to log into the platform to respond. They respond, and it actually will come back into here, as well as send an email to everyone in the group that it's relevant to. Now, getting back to your specific question was around what again? Just remind me.
It was like, now for me, when I set up our emails, I have to take every registration form and physically put in every single child, parent 1, parent 2 emails and names.
Yep.
And sometimes they're misspelled or whatever because people, don't write clearly.
Yeah.
So my question is, to eliminate that, like if we were to set this up, can say, Jackie send out a letter to her classroom saying, I would like for you to join me on Hubbli. This is how you access me. Like, would they be able to send what emails they want to her to be saved into this so they're correct?
Or as a parent of the school, do they register themselves in Hubbli and put all of their information in
and then we just designate it to what classes and stuff?
So there are actually two parts to that question. So, for new prospective parents coming in, one of the reasons the forms are so good is you can combine the registration and enrollment forms. So where they specify their contact information, their email, the child, and that kind of stuff, and that actually creates a user profile for them that's locked to that email address and all that kind of stuff.
But I would have to be putting that in, though, right?
No. So one of the main things that we do, and like I said, we realize we're not dealing with people. Change can be scary.
Normal.
Change for anything. Changing cell phone plans, even though if you're going to save money, is the network going to be good enough? It changes scary for most people. So we actually, if you have that information, you hand that off to us, and we input it for you, so that it's all taken care of. If you have, parent 1 and parent 2's email address, it's associated with his child, stuff like that, you send that all to us. We input it so that you can start using the system without having to worry about all the data entry. I couldn't read it.
How are you going to read it and get it exactly put in properly?
Well, we read it. I mean, what our comprehension is going to be pretty much the same as yours in terms of what it is. And if we have any questions,
right?
Yeah, if we have any questions on it specifically, and maybe a few certain parents we're having issues, then it might be a matter of just sending an email to that or sending a notification to that specific parent to make sure that we have the correct information.
Is there an option for them to email in or sign in?
Yeah, so you'd be able to send a link or a form for them to fill out that
That'd be awesome,
automatically puts them in.
On them,
And
if it's
Yeah, because it is the idea of putting the onus on them to get themselves registered is something that would be appealing to us.
Yeah, and make it the right emails and information.
Right. So for two reasons. One, so that the information is correct, so that they're responsible for getting themselves linked up to receive that information.
Yeah, if they're saying we're not getting information, you might have my email wrong and be like, well, did you register? No.
Exactly. Yes.
The other reason is because, we end up putting the information in wrong because we can't read it properly. So we kind of prefer the option of putting the onus on them. Is that an option for us?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Yeah,
what I would,
and say the join Hubbli, blah, 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 and in that area, be able to, designate yourself to your child's class. They may have two siblings, but I would still need, their information in Jackie's class and their information in Jane's class at the same time. And then that info would just be sent out to Jane and Jackie's accounts.
Definitely. So that's a good point. And what you'd be able to do there is you'd be able to create a form specifically to collect the information that you need and say, and to tell you the truth, if I were you, I mean, Hubbli isn't like from sort of a marketing aspect of it, Hubbli isn't for the parents. Like they don't need to know you're using Hubbli. Hubli's for you guys. So, you can say, we're using a new system. The system's goal is to make sure that, we're providing the best way to communicate to you as well as the best way for you to provide feedback to us. Here's how the system's going to work. We need you to fill this in. Once that's filled in, you'll be good to go.
Good.
That's it.
I like that. Yeah.
So yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, because then too, the problems that I run into is like, when our children graduate, for instance, then every school year we have, September through June, and then we have a 9-week summer course. So some children who were here from September through June may not be in the summer camp and vice versa. So then like now I'm preparing my summer camps. I have to go in now and delete all the parents that aren't coming this summer, and then make sure I add all the new parents who registered for the summer.
I see.
So whereas the parents have the option now, be like, look, I left the school, delete my account. That's on them if they're receiving emails when they've already left. That I like to. It's extremely time consuming when you have over 200 students.
Absolutely.
I'm manually doing it. The amount of time I do that, it's ridiculous.
I actually can't imagine that. That would be, extremely time consuming and tedious.
Yeah, and and then I have to, oh, by the way, you had my wrong email. Why'd you use that? Well, because you put it on the
Whose fault is that?
So I like it being on them. If they get a new email, they're not getting anything. It's because they didn't update it. It doesn't, it's not on me.
You're right. If you're providing the platform, the onus should be on
the I love that.
Make sure
that's awesome. You know how much time that would cut me out? Like it's going to take 3 weeks right now to get summer, because I delete all of the emails because they're in groups already by teachers. So now I have to create summer groups because some kids move from classroom A to classroom B or vice versa. So I delete all my database and now I start fresh again for summer.
Wow.
Okay.
I can understand that. Yeah. So this could save you a lot of time.
I love that idea, Jane.
Like I said here, I'll quickly go over it, but just to reiterate, you'll be able to see that it's been delivered to all the parents, who's opened it, who's clicked on, specific things and who's replied. And you can send anything, any photo, documents, video, that kind of stuff. And if it's a really important message, you actually have the opportunity to be able to send it through SMS, to text messages as well.
Oh, awesome.
That's really cool.
Jackie, there's an option to not only send them an email, see who read it, see who replied to it, see who didn't get it yet, vice versa. But if it's a super important message like we would use for Honeywell, you have the option to hit a SMS button, and it would automatically also get sent to their text.
So, Andre, real quick, we also talked about it replacing well, we currently how we do school closing and
that's it, Dane.
It isn't everything that Honeywell does, because Honeywell also calls them.
Yeah, but if they're getting the email and then they're getting the text.
I'm just saying, Honeywell does email, text, and phone call.
Hello?
Hi, I'm here.
So-
Sorry, Jane, you were asking a question?
Yeah, I think that was the question, right?
Yeah, I was just saying, we had talked about, you and I, briefly about how we use a Honeywell system to do school closing and call out to parents. This would not do the same thing. It would only be sending email and text, right?
Yes. I mean, in what way? So, phoning out to parents to can you explain a little bit about that to me?
It's an automated system that just goes right to, the parents customize it to where they'd like to be notified on events.
Since I originated it from the beginning.
What?
You want me to explain it since I did the original? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what it is I log into Honeywell Instant Alert System as you have the options of a staff member, administrator, or parent. Us first have to then input every single person's, same thing like we were talking about via the email, the mom's name, siblings, vice versa, and a home phone number. And then from there, it's given to Honeywell and they put that into the database. Then the parents are given how to sign in letter or explanation. And on the explanation letter says, go to this website, find your school, type in your child's name because I've already gave you guys that information. So that's in there. Now, when their child's form, or screen pops up, that's where they're able to customize it. Where do you want snow closing phone calls to go to? Or do you want them via email only, text only, or phone call only, or all three? The times you want to receive them at, and they customize it. But the main problem with that is if the information that was input on day one is wrong, the parent can't log in because it could just be I typed the student's name wrong. It should have been a V and it was a whatever.
Can I say something? I think that basically this will meet that option except for the phone call, bottom line.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It'll meet the option except for the phone call. I mean,
it can't.
Yeah, does it do phone calls? It can't phone call. We're constantly adding things to it. So can I say, will that be, on the roadmap? Potentially. But yeah, it won't do that. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's that feature over some of the other features that, you're going to see benefit from, right?
Okay.
So just to let you know, I mean, again, here, it's pretty much just demonstrating what I'd already discussed. Messages sent in through Hubbli, and it comes in through their email. It does come in through their text as well, and they can respond directly from their email or the text, and it'll come back into the system to be able to be seen in that group. Okay. And so moving forward, one of the key features of it and why this system actually allows you to see things like read receipts, who's received it, who's clicked, is because everything's funneled through the Hubbli server. So we realize that, different people use different tools. So, parent A might use Outlook or Gmail or Yahoo, and you guys might use Yahoo or Hotmail or whatever. And what happens is, it realizes that, and it doesn't matter what solution someone's using for email, it tracks that in the system so that, you can see on both sides and have some visibility into that. Main reason being, and one of the areas that schools see this as an opportunity is, some schools are using things like Facebook groups to, send messages and update parents, on things for children. But sorry, I might be getting kicked out of this room right now because someone else has booked it. So if I have to move or I cut out, that will be why. But one of the main benefits of that is the security aspect of it. Facebook isn't necessarily the most secure or, preferred platform to be sending information to parents about, kids and that kind of thing. So this alleviates that thing. And if a difficult situation were to arise, you have actual data on the conversation that happened because it is tracked for you guys. So if any situation, this is worst case scenario, but if any situation does become a he said, she said thing, you actually have that information available to you.
So it tracks communication, is that what you're saying?
Conversation.
So hold on for a second, ladies. I need to unplug this cable, so my internet might cut out briefly, but I will reconnect just in case, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
I like that, Jane. And you know what, too, with the Facebook, can you hear me, Jane?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
With the pictures on here, like when we put them on Facebook, even though we try to keep it private,
Yeah.
it's really not as private as this is, because only our parents are going to have the access to it.
Right. And I do like that.
Exactly.
I think the parents would be, more accepting.
We'll just eliminate Facebook. That's silly.
No, I don't think we should eliminate Facebook, but I think we should put that kind of stuff on here.
Yeah, we'll just put the pictures and stuff on here. I like that.
Okay. I've moved into a different room that we shouldn't be disturbed. So that's one of the main things, and our platform is extremly secure. We had to pass a lot of things. I mean, we're dealing with sensitive information here, and I was actually calling another school recently, and when I was looking for information for the person who'd inquired into Hubbli, she had her email address in there, and I Googled her email address, and what I found was on Google it actually had a list of the student directory.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so I was actually able to, because that was the link that actually had her email address, so I was able to click onto it and bypass what would be a login page for people that had access to get and see all the students, names, the addresses, their parents, phone number, contact information, and I was like, this is not. So I called them and said, just to let you know, this is what information I stumbled upon accidentally that shouldn't be public. So obviously it's a good opportunity for me to have a conversation, but first thing first, you need to make sure that, you restrict this information so that people don't have access to it. Yeah. So, I mean, that's another thing that is pretty important is the security aspect of things. So, anyways.
So Andre, the parent that, if you're doing a communication email with a group of parents, are they able to see, just because they're in the same group, are they able to see each other's emails?
No, they're not able to see each other's emails. They only see the name of the person. Yeah, those are kept separate. Just like Facebook, where you send a message, they see that username.
What about if you're in a group email? If we sent a group email out, would each parent, when they responded, would that only come to me, or would that also be seen by every other person in the group?
That would be seen by people in the group, but it would come from a Hubbli email. So they wouldn't actually see all the CCs or BCCs of who of those emails, which is another aspect of that happens when you have an email chain or a mailing list in Google, and especially when people, I don't know if you guys have ever been in a reply all death trap of.
Yeah. Actually, very recently we were in a death trap of reply all.
It's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful. So, you get to kind of eliminate that aspect of things as well. So moving on, one of the main aspects is also the calendar function. And because groups are the primary, the core area where everything kind of builds out from, what the calendar does is it allows groups to be able to show their specific events as well as school-wide events, and only the most relevant information. So if I'm a parent A, and parent in class A, I will see on that calendar in that group events for Group A and the entire school. If I'm a parent in Group B, I will see in my group only events for Group B and the entire school. So it's not cluttered for any events that might not be relevant to me, and they are color coded. The cool thing also is they can actually sync that calendar with their own personal calendar on their iPhone or their Android phone or their
So
Outlook or whatever.
They would be seeing one calendar with color codes, like blue is the entire school and red is just for their group.
You got it.
Okay.
Amen. They still want it. Amen.
I hear you. And moving forward, so do you guys do, I'm assuming you guys do, newsletters?
Yeah.
Do you guys do physical newsletters or email newsletters? How does that go?
A little bit of both.
Digital.
Okay. So we have a newsletter creator that comes with templates and, any functionality that you find in, a Word or whatever. But you can also add things like media, so videos and pictures and links and all that kind of stuff. So you can make your email or newsletters, pretty interactive. And it's what you see is what you get kind of thing. So as you make it, however you make it look, that's exactly how it looks. It doesn't change. So it's very easy from within the platform to do that and be able to send it to whoever you need to, whether it be a specific group or the entire school or, anything from that perspective. Like I said, we just want to try to make sure that all the main tools that you'd use or apply in having different products to be able to do all this stuff, you have in one central location, so that you just know where to go. You go to one place and do everything for the most part that you need to do.
It's pretty much just like, hold on, I just lost the one I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I just lost it. Publisher, as I wanted to say.
Yes, you got it. Exactly. So getting into the digital forms, they're really easy. Like I said, they can be separated by group as well, just like everything else, so that only the forms that are relevant to that group are there. And they can be fully customized to, for whatever information you need. So any digital or any paper form that you guys have right now, we can turn into a digital form. And, even especially things like registration pages where, if you have an enrollment and, I don't know, you have a parent with 2 or 3 children sending them to the school, that can all be done with one form. They can put their email addresses in, they can put the 3 children that they're putting in, give any permissions that need to be done all in one form, sign it and send it off, and that's put in, so that parent's tied to those 3 children without having to fill out 3 different forms or whatever.
That would be amazing.
Very easy. And for you guys, where it's really kind of valuable is, it's all cataloged for you. So any field is searchable. So I don't know if you guys do any pictures of children on the website and you need like a permission, a release that you can use that child's picture, you can say, go into the system and say, children that have signed the release and it's yes, search, and it'll show you all the ones that you're able to use those pictures for, or whatever. Any child with a peanut allergy, if that's been specified, you can search and it'll list all that stuff for you. So
that's great.
Instead of rummaging through a file cabinet, there you go. And if you need to print it out,
thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And again, if you need to print it out, you can do that, and everything's fully exportable also to Excel if necessary.
Okay.
And then they could even do the payments right on here too?
Yes, absolutely. That's another thing that is completely valuable about a digital form. I don't know if you've ever had a field trip for any of the students, and a child that had a paper form forgot to either bring it or bring it back with the payment and all that kind of stuff, and they were either kind of left behind, or a teacher or you were scrambling to try and get a hold of the parent so that they're not left behind. This makes it really easy. The parent can sign the paper from their laptop or from their phone, include the payment. You can collect the payment right there and done. So, even if a parent's at work, they can do it.
Just because we normally have to take every physical field trip permission slip with us on the bus for emergencies. If you teachers have this on their phones, right? Am I right? They could just open this up to get to the person's emergency phone numbers if need be?
The phone functionality is still limited in terms of accessing this stuff, just because it's such a full functioning platform.
What if you had a tablet?
Yeah, a tablet, or you could be able to, if someone's in the office, they'd just be able to go on and, send the link or whatever and have them sign it and do that.
Okay,
Or
so
have the parent log in. Yep.
So say we're doing registration for summer.
Yep.
We, email the forms to the parents or send them the forms. As the forms come back into us, it would all be categorized under summer registration.
Absolutely.
So we could pull up that list and see how many kids registered for summer.
You got it.
And then designate them to a specific teacher?
If you want to, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll show you. We actually have a because we do have different packages, we do actually have a feature or the ability to automate your enrollment process as well. So if you have a set process that this is how your enrollment goes, and you can eliminate when someone signs up, being notified of when that happens, and what happens next from that point, we can actually automate that for you as well.
And what about as far as taking the payments? Is that also for like monthly tuition payments as well?
Yeah,
Absolutely,
we skipped that part.
Yeah.
We have. How does it work for monthly tuition payments?
I haven't gotten there yet, actually.
Okay, so wait, before we move on, the page that we're looking at has the category of attendance form, behavior, and grades. That's something you're going to talk about separately, or should I ask about that?
No, you can ask about that now. Yeah, absolutely. Okay,
so I would like to know how those three features work: attendance forms, behavior, and grades.
Okay, so those are example forms. I mean, they can pretty much be anything. Attendance form is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, they would be within a specific group, so they'd have all the children that are relative to that group or that classroom, and the teacher would just basically go in and fill out who's absent, who's here, who's not, who's sick, if you want.
And that gets generated by us attaching them to a teacher, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
So each teacher would have a list, an attendance form for her class that she could digitally put in their attendance, and they're sick, out with a fever, and that would go to a main database where like our executive administrator could view that at some point in the day and document who was sick and who was absent.
Absolutely.
I could probably.
Do you have an example of what it looks like, Andre?
Right on here.
Let me see.
Here it is.
Yes.
I'd have to. I don't think in this slide deck I do have an example, but I'd be able to get one for you and show you guys.
But Jane, with that, as far as the attendance, when we're able to mark them out if they're sick or why they were out sick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If that goes to a main database, when our state lady comes in, I can open up that database for her instead of keeping a binder.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And show her
Hubbli is the database. Hubbli is the database.
No, I know. Right now, it's everything is manual per child. I feel like a dinosaur right now.
Okay, so my next question is.
Wait, so just, this is really like an ignorant question. So I'm going to have like a tablet in my hand. Mm-hmm. And then as the kids come in, I can just put them in. I could mark them off on the attendance sheet that they've been here. And then again at the end of the day.
I believe so. Let me just confirm, because I don't want to give any false information on tablet functionality, because generally it's done through a laptop or a computer. I'm just going to send a quick message to Jana.
Because that's kind of a big deal, actually, because otherwise our teachers in the classrooms can't function because they don't have computers in their classrooms. It would tablet use only.
So do you have tablets currently, or are you going to be buying tablets?
We would purchase them if we decide to.
Quiet, Jane.
Okay.
She said be quiet.
So John was going to get back to me, and I'll have that question for you either way. Either by the end of the presentation.
So the next question then is what is a behavior form? And I realize you're saying that these forms are whatever we want them to be kind of thing.
Yeah.
But because you have a category of behavior, what are you referring to there? Is that an example of something?
Well, behavior, it could be something like do you guys do scope and sequence reports?
No.
No.
No? Okay. So, I mean, I know I'm still, still relatively new here, but in terms of Montessori, you guys don't really do grades, do you?
No.
No.
Okay. So, you assess children in sort of in a different way than a regular sort of public school would. So
Progress reports,
mm-hmm.
not actual grades.
So that's pretty much what the behavior of the grades report is. Those are just examples, but you would have progress reports, and whatever you have in those progress reports, could be, motor skills or, cooperation or whatever those things may be, and you can actually grade them, not grade them, but I guess, assess them with whatever, means you do, either by, number or...
Customize that form to fit our needs?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they could. He said that we could do like our profile sheets would go into this.
And then we could digitally input the information.
Absolutely.
Okay.
There you go.
Because we were talking to a school yesterday, and they were doing all that stuff, handwriting it. And I'm just like, I couldn't even imagine. I mean, I'll get carpal tunnel just, doing that. So yeah, we digitize any forms that you need us to digitize, just to make it a lot easier for data entry, and anything that can be done either through like a number scoring system or a letter scoring system, or you can rate as high, very high, not high or whatever. You can do with buttons, as opposed to having someone have to write it or type it out. So anything that's not necessarily specific, where it needs a description, you can create forms that have buttons or drop-down menus to make it really easy. Okay.
Well, I had more dollars. I don't. No, take it off.
Oh, Courtney.
Okay. So this is just an example of what a sheet could look like, as well as an example of a student page. And basically, what a student page is it's a it basically collects all of the information relative to that specific student and pulls it into that one page. So it's easily accessible, A, by the parent, B, by the teacher of that student, and by the administrator. And you can set permissions so that specific people will have specific permissions. So if you don't want certain people seeing certain things, I see a hand up.
Oh no, I'm blocking.
I'm like, I feel like
you might get a little bit more than you bargained for over here.
That's okay. So yeah, like I said,
the student documentation page that you can an automated one. So it's the teacher's name. I'm blind, but that's not really my glasses.
So teachers, parents and guardians. So you have the profiles of the parent and guardians of that student. You have any media or documentation of that student. That's Leora. That's actually Jono, the co-founder's daughter. Right there.
Student has a page that has like some basic general information on it that we could refer to.
Sorry, you cut out there a little bit.
Like, it's hard to read this because it's really tiny.
Let's see if I can zoom in a bit. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this basically has the students' names, the general information for that student, email, phone number, etc. Is that what this is referring to?
So this page, because the students actually don't have a profile, the students in Montessori schools are pretty young, so they don't have emails and that kind of stuff. What this has is all the documentation relative to that student. So it could be all the attendance forms, all the, scope and sequence, behavioral, or, assessment forms for that child.
It's their file.
It's their file, basically.
Okay. Thank you.
No worries. So There, an example of an attendance form right there.
Okay.
You know, you can select the student, you know, present, absent, tardy, sick, vacation, whatever you want. Pretty easy.
Does it give the option for times? I know like our forms have like times on them right now.
Yeah, if you have times in your forms, then you can put that into the form.
Registration or whatever forms, correct?
We'll make it look
Yeah,
like.
you got it.
Yeah, Jane, whatever we want to make, it's going to be our forms, just in digital form.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, anything you can put on paper, we can digitize for you. Now, here's what you guys were interested in terms of the Sign Up Genius functionality. Just like you said, you know, you want to have, you know, blocks of days or whatever for whatever event that, you know, you need people to sign up for, be able to have access to, and be able to specify those time slots for them to be able to, you know, log in, click, accept that time slot, and then have that eliminated for any other parents. It's very easy. You set up the time slots, they come in, they choose the time slot that applies to them, and that time slot is eliminated, and that actually, Hubbli will also actually send confirmations and reminders to those parents as well.
So we can have conferences for conferences or for volunteers or for a party.
Yeah, anything that you need someone to sign up for, you can use it for.
But what if we want someone to sign up to bring something?
Yes, you can do that as well. Yeah, you can do sheets that specify, you know, bring paper, bring napkins or whatever, and
they could go in and pick what they want to bring?
Yes.
Okay.
That's great.
Absolutely.
So like we could do our party sheets on here.
Mm-hmm.
So no lettuce. Okay. Chicken fingers.
Okay. Any questions around that? That's
No.
straightforward. Okay. Now getting to the payments. So for tuition or incidentals or anything like that, we do have the capability in our custom package to include any kind of tracking for payment tuition online. So the parents will have access to any invoices, any outstanding invoices or currently paid invoices, so that they can keep track of, you know, their payment schedule. You'll have access, obviously, to any of the payment invoices. You can do monthly or one-time fees. With that, it's all tracked. It's all exportable. You know, if you're working with like QuickBooks or something like that, it's all exportable to QuickBooks, so that's all tracked for you.
And then,
And just FYI, and Jane, you and Stacey know about this better than me, but Stacey's on the phone right now. So before we move from the subject, I want to wait till she gets off the phone, make sure she doesn't have any questions. But
yeah,
we have this is kind of separate from our Easy Care. We have a system through credit card companies and through the bank in which we can do automatic charge on their credit cards.
Yep.
yeah, he's kind of familiar with that. That's what I was talking to you about, Andrew, about the our merchant services, where we actually go in and input on a monthly basis everyone who has said, okay, charge my credit card every month. And then we, in turn, have to, of course, pay the credit card fees to the bank that's running the service for us. So is this something that can replace that by them being able to make the payments, or do we have accessibility to saying, you know, having them say, okay, charge my card once a month, and we can charge them through here in the same manner?
Absolutely. You can do recurring monthly payments through here. Yeah, set up the merchant is set up, and so that way it automatically deducts from their credit card and deposits it into your bank account.
Yes, and there's no additional fee for that service.
That's part of our custom package. So the additional fee is tied into the
$4.99
itself. Yeah.
So we would be paying $4.99 a month, and then we could monthly charge their tuition through this.
You got it. Yeah.
Wow.
I missed.
So, Sage, you need to pay attention here because
Okay.
he said that,
I'll
that
reiterate.
we could charge, well, you could charge the credit cards on this system the same way you would be charging the credit cards on the machine.
They would have the option of keeping it on file?
Yep.
Okay, but wait a minute. I missed something too. I apologize.
Yeah, no
So,
worries.
so would they have to go in and put the charge through, or would we be able to have it automatically charged?
You'd be able to have it automatically charged.
Save it. So then on the 20th, I just go in and charge it. The same thing I'm doing now, it's just on the computer.
You actually probably wouldn't
It would
have
be
to
a
do
lot less
anything.
time for you,
It's,
Steve.
it's
Do I
automated.
have to go in though and physically punch in the numbers on my credit card machine, or this
No,
links it to the bank?
No, this links it. It's all done online. So once the credit card number is in there and you set it as recurring billing, it does it all itself for you.
Once it's all in the system, it will automatically charge these people for their tuition on the,
Yep.
On the day that I program it.
Yep.
Oh, hell, hallelujah.
That actually saves us thousands
That
of
saves
dollars.
me at least 16 hours of work.
There you go. You've already quantified it. Yeah, no, that, like it's we try to make it easy. So at the end of the day, like, you know, you can focus on the school stuff. Everything that can be automated is automated for you.
Wait a minute, am I gonna have a job?
But my question is this, though, is because
Am I gonna have a job after this before I agree to this?
Yes, absolutely. But your
Okay.
job isn't to input payments. I mean, that's just a function of it being necessary to do that because there isn't a system for it.
What about
You know,
attaching automatic late fee after 7 days? Because I also then have to manually go and do that now.
I don't know, but I can find out for you.
Okay.
But even
So
if
that's
that's
the
all you
key.
have to do, but, so here's my question though, because I'm so confused. So now, so the thousands of dollars that we're paying the credit card company to administer to do this, that would be not, we don't have to do that anymore?
There would be some fee, obviously, because we'd be using a merchant that, you know, has a, you know, probably like a, I don't know, 3% transaction fee or something like that.
Right.
Probably no more than, you know, you guys are already paying.
Okay.
So
So
yeah,
that would
there's
still
obviously
be there.
the transaction fee, whatever. But
Okay.
yeah, you wouldn't be
Yeah,
paying.
that's why I was like, wait, is this too good to be true?
Yeah. No,
Right,
I
but I
mean,
do have a
yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now in each individual student with Easy Care, like I could pull up, you know, my account, and it has like a full ledger from the
Yeah.
day that the child started with us. And I can send the parent from there. At least the one thing I can actually digitally do is if they want to, especially around tax time, you know, I need an invoice for everything I paid for, you know, June 2015, January 2015 to January 16. And I can email that invoice out.
Yeah.
Am I going to be able to do that here as well?
Yes, absolutely.
And I can view
So
their whole ledger from the
You
day
can do that. Yeah, you
Oh.
can do that, and parents can actually view their invoices as well.
records. Okay,
So they can see their, you know, what's been
They'll
paid,
see their
what's
balances,
outstanding.
too.
Yeah,
awesome. So I wouldn't even really have to print out invoices or email. They could just download them.
exactly. You could if
That's
you need
what
to.
this is? That's what this
Yeah.
is here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let me.
What
zoom
about
in
the
so you guys can see
deposit
it
question, Jane?
Well, obviously,
Are
we
you
have
able
to,
to print out like an end of day summary of all of, because for the, what happens is, let's say if I put through 10 credit cards today, the end of the day tonight, I have to close out my credit card machine and then manually go into Easy Care and put those 10 people, what they paid and how they paid by. And then I print out like a summary and a report because that has to get filed for the accountant. Does that automatically log a report in the computer?
Yeah. What you're doing sounds archaic right now.
I feel like
That
a
sounds like, it sounds like a lot of steps just to process a payment and get a record of it and have that. I mean, it takes care of it for you because the payment information is already in there. It's scheduled to go out. Once it goes out, it logs that it was paid and it creates an invoice of that payment and keeps that data in the system. So if you need to print something out, you can do that.
so is
Like
this
that.
something we're getting rid of Easy Care too? Like, we could get rid of this other?
So I mean,
Wow.
this is up to you guys. What we
$2,000
do
a
is,
year.
you know, like, you know, a lot of the schools we speak to feel like they need to implement everything all at once. Which you don't necessarily need to. You know, I wouldn't talk you out of it, but at the end of the day, you know, it is possible to phase things in as necessary, right?
Yeah, all I
so
need
as
to
you get comfortable
is have the tuition billed to the account, be able to print an invoice, or as you said, they can now check their own invoices, do an automatic credit card charge on the 20th of every month, and then we just see if it'll assess a late fee.
Yep.
And then, Jane, that's it. That's pretty much easy care.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, so in other words, we're like getting rid of easy care too. Andre, never mind my two monkeys at the other side of the thing. They get a little delirious once in a while.
No worries. But yeah, this is exactly why we created the platform. I mean, we ask schools, what do you actually need? What tools do you use to get through your day? And where can we make life easier, reasonably easier for you?
Jane, this is a one-stop shop. Do you know how
for
much?
the most part. Sorry?
Can I interrupt for a minute?
Yes.
I have a parent conference that's going to show up any second.
Okay.
So would it be possible for me to ask my couple of quick questions?
She wants to skip in line.
Just really
definitely.
quick so that if my conference shows up, I know I got my questions answered.
Sure.
Is there a way to document parent-teacher conferences?
That would be reports, right?
Right there.
Annual report or something? No, like the outcome, like we have to have a sheet.
Like the actual documentation.
Saying, like, I met with so-and-so today, this is what we discussed.
Oh, yeah, easily. You could build a form for that.
You could build a form for that.
And then, can we do staff meeting notes in there?
If you wanted to, yeah, we could have a faculty group specifically for the faculty, and if you wanted to have forms specifically for those meeting notes and that kind of thing, you could have that, so it's all kept in one place as well.
Okay, so here's my last couple of questions.
Yep.
So the only thing, and maybe you're getting to this, but the only thing that we haven't talked about that I've seen compared to the Tadpole system is that apparently through Tadpole, parents are getting, like, we don't do daily report sheets for all of our students. And I honestly don't know how teachers could do a daily report sheet for every student in their class.
I was wondering that myself, actually, because that's a little bit much.
And care of their kids.
Yeah.
But we do daily report sheets for infants.
Okay.
And Tadpole has the option of sending a daily report sheet or sending a group report, like this is what our class is today, and it's a text message or email that the parent receives that has the picture, and for some of them, the daily report sheets are pretty specific. They say bathroom time, what they ate. Do you guys have that?
Yeah, so just like the other forms, you can create a form specific to that, and you can actually have it. So if it's if it's for a specific child, it'll be attached to that child's student page, and so parents can access it either when they want, or you can actually set it to email that parent when that report's filled out, so that they receive it the same way.
They could get an email or text?
I believe they can get a text. I'd have to find that out for you, but because we already have that capability with the groups, I don't see why not. But just so I'm not giving you false information, I know they can send an email. I'm not sure about the text.
So they can we at least know that they can get an email daily report sheet.
Absolutely.
And it could have pictures attached?
Definitely.
Okay, so what if we didn't want to do the report sheet, but we wanted to send a group or individual picture to a parent or note, like this is what your child did today, and a picture of that child, or a picture of the classroom, like this is what Mrs. A's class did today, to go out to the entire class with a picture. Could we do that?
Absolutely. So I'm just going to go quickly back. There's two ways you can do that. Either you can go into Hubbli and then pick that specific parent and send the picture or whatever, or if you want to send sort of a class classroom report for all the parents and show them. It's as easily, it's basically as simple as posting something on Facebook. You go in here, you comment, you add the picture, and you post it there, and every parent that's a part of that group, which ideally would be that classroom, sees it in their email.
Okay, so basically, one of my teachers, if we could use tablets, which is a question we still need answered, could take their tablet around their classroom, take pictures of kids, and would they have to download the picture to their tablet, or could they directly download it to the email?
I'm assuming that once they take the picture, then they just have to access it from the button. They'd have to just click the button and select the picture and then post it.
Okay.
I don't believe there's a functionality yet to take the picture and have it automatically attached, but again, I can find out for you.
Okay. So the Hubbli advertised.
She's actually in a conference call. Can I have her call you back?
Being able to do everything Tadpole can do and more.
Yeah.
So what's the and more that you can do?
Okay, so what Tadpole does is it allows you to share photos, videos, notes, classroom counts, take attendance, and basically share updates, correct?
Can you repeat that?
Sorry, what Tadpole does is essentially allow you to share photos, video, notes, classroom counts, meal things, meal notes and things like that, take attendance of the students and send those to parents. That's pretty much what Tadpole does, correct? Is there anything else that I might be missing?
We don't know yet, actually, and we want into the Tadpole system, but we were hoping you could tell us what you can do that's more than what Tadpole can do.
So essentially what Tadpole does is they allow you to send updates, whether that be through message or photo or video, as well as keep simplified records on classroom counts and attendance. And that's something like, how many teachers there are to how many kids, which I'm pretty sure you guys probably already know, and then take attendance. That's pretty much the gist of what it allows you to do. It allows you to do that on an iPhone and an iPad. What we do is all of that. So share photos, notes, all that kind of stuff, specify them by group. I mean, you have 200 students, so you're a rather large, center for children. You're not a small.
Add the Center for Children and not just rather large.
Sorry. So yes, exactly. Yes.
Rather large.
Well, essentially, what we allow, or what we're capable of doing over and above that, is creating specific forms for you for any kind of attendance, record keeping, all that kind of stuff, scheduling for parents, for events, for teacher-parent meetings, for volunteer things. We actually also have a fundraising a portion, which you don't include because not all schools use it, but a fundraising option on the platform as well.
So would that cover, like, we have like 4 mandatory fundraising events throughout the year, like the parents have to, so that would be keeping track of that and be a website for them to actually input what they're doing?
Yeah, so I mean, you could do the fundraising for this is our goal. It'll take every donation that you need. It'll show you where you are to your goal of donation. Over and above that, obviously the tuition and payment collection, digital forms. That's something that Tadpole doesn't do. The digital forms allow you to collect payment from any credit card, the monthly tuition fees, the invoices for that kind of stuff. I mean, one or two of those functions in itself is, worth it. So, but yeah, the fundraising thing, again, not every school does it, but for schools that do it, it can be a very, very valuable tool.
Yeah.
Here's another thing. This is what we'd spoken about a little bit earlier was your enrollment process, your onboarding process, and how we can automate that for you so that, there's no steps missed. You can have a parent fill out their inquiry form. It'll notify the right admission staff. It'll actually update the admission staff, and you'll see a list of the updates of where those forms sit, where those parents sit within the process. It'll create a task. So once they fill that form and it's notified, it will create a task for that person to, call, maybe schedule a tour for that parent, or, however you guys do it. From that point, it'll schedule the tour. You can automate email reminders for that parent so they know when they don't miss the scheduled tour.
Automatically generates if somebody books a tour. You can automatically generate a reminder
To them?
to that person to remind them of their appointment.
What about to us?
We can do that. I mean, pretty much most onboarding processes are very similar, aside from a few different tweaks. So we'll work with you to make sure that it fits your process to a T. But it's really just a matter of making a few tweaks specific to you from the process that's already in there. But it'll admin stuff will see the update status to, accepted. They'll automate the acceptance email to parents with link to the enrollment form so that they get the enrollment form and all the information that you need, that you specifically, Stacy, are collecting and having input and, want to put the onus on the parents. It'll collect all that information in that one go so that when that student's enrolled, all that information is there for you. They're a part of the right class and all that kind of stuff.
I want to hug you.
The invoice is sent. The invoice is sent so the parent can pay.
Oh, that's amazing.
Sound good? Any questions around that?
Sounds good.
Okay. Now,
hold on.
How long, or maybe you're going to get to this, but I might for my conference. So if we decided tomorrow we're signing up for this, right? How long would it take us from beginning to end to kind of, get our tablets and get someone to help us get this going so that we could be,
Thank you.
so we could start this?
Can you sign for that?
so once you guys start with us, I mean, we can have the site up and running like right away. To get trained, we allot 60 days for you guys to get trained. It doesn't take 60 days, but we allot that as the time where you can like stagger your training. So you don't necessarily have to have everyone trained the same day.
Like midsummer, or should we aim for September?
Oh no, absolutely midsummer. And the thing is,
our program starts June 27th, but I think that might be a little unrealistic, no?
Actually, no, not at all. Not at all, because what we'll do is when we're creating, any of the forms and stuff like that you need, we will work with you to make sure we're creating the ones that are most immediately necessary.
Okay, so what, if we sign up, I send you what our registration forms are, and then you guys make it digital?
Yep, you got it. You dump all the work that you don't want to do, basically, in terms of digital forms and data entry and all that kind of stuff. You dump it all on us.
Okay.
Give it to us. We'll take care of it, and we'll prioritize it in what's most necessary to get done and when. So if you need certain forms done for enrollment by a specific date, we'll say, you know what? Let's go with those forms first so that you have access to them. And then we can worry about the things that aren't necessarily immediate concerns.
We can get it up and running as soon as possible with the main stuff that we need right away. So it's not unrealistic to say by
They should be sending you flowers on a daily basis.
I am gonna.
I want to send you
find
flowers.
you, and I'm gonna come and I'm gonna hug you.
I'm gonna come to Jersey. I gotta come to Jersey.
Come visit.
Come visit.
Come see us, old lady.
Yeah, I know, right? You're probably what, 19?
I'm actually 32.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
6 years younger.
No, seriously. All the registration forms, anything that needs to be done, like right up front, emergency type stuff, and they'll prioritize it for us to make it.
So, but what about our logo? Like, is that something that you would download?
Yeah. So, I mean, we haven't spoken about it, but I'm assuming you probably want to go with it. With the custom package, comes the opportunity to be able to actually host the Hubbli as your main school page. So you not only have a back-end system, the platform, the login, and all that kind of stuff, but it can be your front-facing system so that it all integrates in. So any of your calendars, your notifications, your fundraising, all that kind of stuff can be accessed through the main Hubbli page as well, which acts as your web page.
Is that like a parent website? Is that what you're saying?
So there's two options, and you know, we have schools that use it as essentially an extra website to help with their Google placement and help with enrollment, or replace their current website with that website. It
could be our website.
Absolutely.
But would strangers have any access to anything that's in it beyond the cover page? Or
No. So, you know, the front-facing web page would be anything that you'd want public, and then if they wanted to get into, you know, the back end of the system, they would have to, you know, log in.
That's awesome. Jane, that right there, that deletes Jam Graphics and our hosts already.
Well, it depends though on what, you know, how much information we could put on that page. In other words, you know, we want it to, you know, is that
So the general one would be public.
Yeah, that's the one like people searching for schools.
Okay.
Pull up Rainbow Montessori School, and it's pretty much going to be our selling page.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it could be your selling page or your main page, and you know, one of the main things that you know, we're not a website design company by any means. So you know, the page is pretty templated, but it's exactly what you need. It has, you know, great pictures. It's branded for your school colors and your logo and all that kind of stuff. So it is branded your page. But it also aligns with the best practices for, you know, how Google evaluates, you know, where your page placement goes for when people search for schools in New Jersey. You know, we practice best practice so that you show up very easily.
But you don't. So because you're not the designers. You're not. You could take what we currently have and put that up there.
That's there. Yeah, migrating all of our current web content.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't have to. Yeah, but we don't have to migrate everything, because I mean, I was speaking to a school the other day, and they're like, you know what, we actually want to change a lot of those stuff, a lot of the stuff we have up there, a lot of stuff we don't like. So are we able to add new things? Yeah, of course you can. You can add any pretty much information you want.
This might actually be better, Jane.
It's what?
This might actually be better because of all the stuff, like the changes we've made with this. Like we constantly want it to show a summer program, you know, where we normally don't. Only around this time do we start showing a summer program.
We can make changes.
We can make those changes. You know, that's why I started putting the summer packet and all of the enrollment packets. Can they request information on the school from here?
Yep.
Like a mailing contact page or something, like, you know, I'm interested in enrollment, what's your policy, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you can take them through the entire enrollment process from that page. So you can say, you know, click here for, you know, information, whatever. They can click that, either fill out a form for you that you get notified of and that kind of stuff, and then take them through the process of enrollment.
That's cool.
Do I get, and you probably said this, but like when I open up in the morning, let's say, do I automatically like have alerts to different categories of what I need to look at?
So if it's something like the enrollment form and stuff like that, you will have notifications on that. But I mean, you're not going to be bombarded with a bunch of things. I mean,
like I'll be notified if somebody gets them in.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, we can set that up.
Okay, awesome.
I mean, for now, that's all my questions. How about you guys?
I mean, that's mine.
And it's what if we did like the works? What would the monthly payment be?
$4.99 a month.
Okay. And our enrollment packets are approximately like 15 to 20 pages because of all the state forms that we need. Is there a limit on that?
Nope.
Okay.
Not at all. And I mean, one of the good things about digital forms as opposed to paper forms, and I don't know if it happens to you guys, is you can set required fields. So a person can't actually send a form or complete a form until every field that's required is completed.
Oh,
so I don't know if you've ever Yeah. If you get a 20-page form and you're looking through it and you notice that something's wrong or you forget that something's not filled in there, it could be, detrimental or take a lot of time. I skipped over this stuff just because I've already kind of gone over it, but this is basically just...
I don't know if, we're different in a sense from other schools, but you had said, like, parents could put, like, one name on a field or, like, all 3 children on a field trip form and sign it. Our state requires us to have an original form for each child. Is there a way to, like, not let that happen, like, where they have to make a new form for every child? Does that make sense?
Actually, sorry, I'm not completely getting that. Can you explain that to me?
Like, even for instance, for registration, let's say it's, they want to register 2 children from the same family.
Oh, I see what you mean.
They can't put, Jack and Jill on the same form. They have to do one for Jack, one for Jill, because it has to be specific and an original on each child.
Okay, yeah, you could do that.
That could be specified and all that.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. It would just be a matter of negating it to only one child as opposed to, including an extra child or options for that.
So what happens when we say, like, of course we're going to be talking about it, but like what happens when we say, okay, we're going to move on with this? Do we get, like, are you a representative and then you help us through this whole thing?
I am your representative. So, I am sales essentially. So my role is to get you to that point, but I will be your account manager. So you guys are assigned to me. The support team will actually be taking care of any of the training and that kind of stuff. So this page you're seeing here is one of the support pages that we have where you can actually, click, we use our own system. We drink our own Kool-Aid, obviously. Where you can book your any training sessions automatically. So you can get together and figure out when works for you and click the training session and go through it. And like I said, we create all the forms and set up all the users and all that kind of stuff for you. So when you're walking through it, it's not, here's all this data entry you need to do. It's like, okay, here's how you get to where you need to get.
What if we take, like, the top package?
Yep.
And we realize at some point, like, once we've put in everything that we need to put in, we might not need that highest package. We may be the package below or something because we are a Montessori school and maybe aren't doing as much as the public schools or whatever are doing. Can you, like, downgrade your package?
That's actually an interesting point because we are actually primarily only selling to Montessori schools.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Rose, get the phone. Okay.
Jono, the founder, is actually working really closely with the International Montessori Foundation. He's doing, like, webinars with and things with them because, although we do, like, this product, I think one of the things that he feels is lacking in the industry is knowledge. Like, it's great that we have a tool that tells you, hey, here you can use this to send a newsletter. But maybe what content should you be sending in that newsletter to get the best engagement? It's great to have a tool to use it, but not necessarily know how or how the best way to use it. So he works with them because they're one of the premier foundations in consulting for Montessori foundations or Montessori schools to actually create content to teach people how to use or how to better use the tools they have, regardless of whether it's Hubbli or not.
That's what, because that one little clip that you have sounds very familiar, and it's big in Montessori. Like, how do you? There's this little, I've seen it in seminars, but the little cartoon thingy you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this guy right here, or this guy?
No, it was on one of the previous pages. It almost looked like it's like this Montessori thing that's out there to explain to parents what Montessori does, and the whole time they're drawing a picture, and it looked there that lady. That kind of looked like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So somewhere
that's Stacy.
I'm laughing at Jane because she's got this blank look on her face, like. Everybody uses that, girl.
That girl. But doesn't it remind you of the thing that we use at the schools at the meetings? Andrew, what is it over?
So, are there any like further questions of the platform itself? I'm going to get into pricing so I can explain it fully for you guys.
So I mean, as far as where I'm coming from, you've pretty much addressed everything. I mean, I guess it is pretty much just me. The rest is the balance goes to these two. You know, everything that you've described, you know, is things that I'm initially setting up anyway.
Okay.
And you can see that it's going to save, you know, a lot of time, especially just by credit cards alone.
Yeah. Or just 2
hours processing credit cards, punching numbers in.
Yeah, but it will also make it easier that you don't have to do all the emails. The teachers could do something for their own.
I think the only concern we had with that initially is, unfortunately, some teachers can't spell, or you know, whatever. Like they still need to come through us, Jane. They need to be checked before each teacher can send out an email. So
I can actually check that, but I'm actually pretty sure that you might actually be able to set a permission so that if someone's going to send something, it needs to be approved first before it goes live.
Oh, so they could write it. Like, say I'm writing something, and then Stacy has to proofread it.
You send it, but it'll come to me first for approval, and then I guess I would click approved, and then it could go out from that point.
That's exactly what you need to do.
I don't guarantee it, but I'm pretty sure I remember that. So let me confirm that. You know, if it's not possible, that's not possible.
There was something
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah. There was something else though that you were checking on that you never.
Yeah, the tablets. Tablets and late fees after 7 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
So before any decisions are made, I mean, I'll make sure to get these questions answered for you.
Okay.
I like transparency. So in you know the mindset of transparency, here are the prices. Now I'll be straightforward with you. What we've been talking about this entire time, and
the last package,
basically, is the custom package. Not all schools need it, but you know when it comes down to it, you know everything that we've discussed, it just makes sense.
This is why this deletes our other website, Jane. So Incorporated, we're not paying them $49 a month just to keep it up and running on an old dated, you know, platform.
Right.
Plus, we have to pay a hosting fee for them to host that.
Right.
Yeah.
So right there, I mean, it's, you know, we pay $1,500 to almost $2,000 just for Network Solutions to be our host, plus $40 a month for our website.
But who can get, like, I mean, it sounds like because of all the administration stuff we need, but who is allowed access to the administration sites? Is that customized so that only administration or the proper people would be in on that? Or because I have, you know, Miss Sue in classroom A and she has a tablet where she can get information on her students and use it for what we want every classroom to use it for, is she then able to open up like information that only administration should be handling? Andre,
I want them to be able to see the children's monetary accounts.
Is he there? Are you there?
Andre?
I don't think he's there.
Andre?
We lost Andre.
Andre? Hello?
Andre.
Hello?
Andre?
There we go. My headset came out.
Oh, okay. We don't.
I'm like, I can hear you guys. I'm here.
We don't want the teachers or anybody other than like myself and the two owners and my assistant to have access to the like account like private information.
That's not a problem at all.
That could be blocked.
Yeah. So I mean, the entire premise of our platform has been to separate people into groups that have certain permission access, so that they're only able to see relevant information, and that goes on the account level as well. So you can have specific administrators that have overall account access, and we already have templated user profiles, so like teacher profile, parent profile, administrator profiles that have permissions already attached to them, and you can actually modify those to whatever you want, but they're already set level accesses, so that, a parent or a teacher can't see, financial information for a parent or student or anything like that.
Is there a limit on how many, like, administrators you can have?
No, not really. I mean, generally we usually see one or two, just because you don't want too many people poking around and, making changes, without other people's knowledge. But yeah, no, not really.
Yeah,
and
well,
then you can set.
three.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
All
you
right,
can have full
let me
access.
ask one more question, which I don't know if we touched on this yet, but would we be able to do anything for staff in here as far as teachers' contracts, their salaries, and keep that to private, just locked for administration? Is there, like, to digitize the contracts just for staff?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you can create a group for the faculty, then you can create forms for the faculty specifically.
But each, like, I wouldn't be able to see Jane's contract. I would only be able to view my own contract.
I believe so, yeah. I believe you could specify it to one thing. I'd have to find out, but I don't see why not.
Jane, they could also
faculty,
that right there.
Faculty and teachers.
Yeah, because we do contracts with our teachers, and obviously, some are different.
And then, so then we could also put the staff on the, like, emailing list as well, right? So we
did that already. We went through that already.
We could communicate with them or without them, but they don't know what I'm communicating with everybody else.
No,
bring them in.
Yeah, you can set group chat, so you can do things with the faculty or message people specifically.
Yeah, but you can do your contracts right on here, Jane, because I would send them a copy of the contracts for teachers and assistants.
Mm-hmm.
You could put in, whatever vital information you need.
Right.
And then send it to me. I can digitally sign it, and then they get stored. But my assistant wouldn't be able to go and pull up my contract to see my salary or requirements.
And because you work for mostly Montessori schools, do you have a general? You were talking about that scoping system or whatever.
Yeah, it's the scope and sequence.
Like, would we be able? Could I see one of those?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have access to it right now, but yeah, I mean, we'd be able to set something up like that because it's pretty standard. It was actually created by Tim Selden, who is, I believe, one of the founders or one of the president of the Montessori Foundation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you guys were interested in using something like that, I don't see.
Because that's another thing that we've actually been looking into. Like, we wanted to change what we're using a little bit. So, or maybe customize it where I could see what you're talking about, and then maybe, doing, which would be great. And as far as other notices and things as well, is there, like, general notices on other things that Hubbli uses that we can look at and then just kind of tweak it too?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we have a bunch of templated forms that we use that can be customized and whatever, and especially in the training with, or when you're handing over the information of the forms that you're giving to us. If you have anything sort of specific that you want to create or, ask us about, that's not a problem either.
Okay. And then, since going back just a little bit to the registration process and the parents who are coming in, so it sounds like, we're putting in for information of prospective parents as well. Like, we usually send out, like, a little thank you for visiting our school. Is that something Hubbli does too? Send out those emails?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they're signing in.
So when you're automating it, you can set it so that they sign the thing and send it off, and then they can get an email saying thank you for inquiring at the school. We'll be back to you within 24 hours or whatever. All that kind of stuff. Yeah.
It all sounds really good. Okay, so where do we go from here? Are you going to get back to me on the questions, and also maybe can I take a look at one of those formats that you were talking about?
The scope and sequence?
Yes.
Okay, so let me do this. So the first thing we need to discuss is cost, total cost. Yes. Okay, so the monthly price is $4.99 for the custom package. We do have a setup fee. And the setup fee, what that setup fee covers is basically the manpower of the support staff to basically take all of the forms and all of that data entry that needs to be done and complete it for you to take it all off your plate. So the setup fee for the custom package is $49.99, so $4,999, and that's a one-time fee.
$4,999. Okay.
Yeah, and that's a one-time fee. And once that's done, you're good to go. The $4.99 per month.
And that includes like the 60 days training and having someone at Okay.
Yes. So
and then when exactly would we start paying the first month?
So you start paying the first month when you decide to start. So you could decide to start at the end of June, or on June 25th or whatever. You can start paying then. The setup fee is basically to get everything set up, and you can choose what day you start within the next 6 months.
Okay. So in order to start, we would have to pay you $5,500.
No, actually, it would be the $4,999
plus the monthly fee.
Yeah.
So it would be $5,500.
Come on
Yeah.
in. I'm like,
Okay.
I think Jackie just it's fair.
And you can start any time, but obviously time being of the essence, and trying to get by that June 27th date, which shouldn't be a problem. That's when we'd want everything done by, so that you're good to go. And what was I going to say? So that's the price there. That's all you really need to worry about.
Is there a payment plan on the setup fee?
There can be.
Okay.
If you need one.
So
what would that look like for you guys, or what would be maybe
We'd
more
have to
manageable
get
for you?
Jackie in the circle.
yeah, I'm actually.
She's got to go to the conference. I'll be
for my
something I'll have to
conference,
do later.
So we could
Okay.
talk about that another time, but
Okay.
but yeah, that I might be interested in that.
Yeah, we might have to work out. Even if we had to, I mean, how long
Maybe.
does the setup, like,
Can I ask you guys?
if we needed to, how long is the setup good for? Like, let's say if we picked a start date, we wanted it all up and running by the last week in August, or the 20th of August, because that's when our tuitions are due for September.
That's
Do
fine.
we pay that setup fee now, and between now and August have to get you guys stuff?
Yeah, you got it.
You
You got
can
it.
take
And
3 months in between until we decide our start date?
yeah, well, I mean, generally you want to decide your start date, but your start date doesn't have to be like, you don't have to pay and then start right now. Like, you can start in a month if you want to. That's fine. And that's when the monthly fee starts to kick in.
Then
But that gives us the ability to go in and you give us all the forms, us to enter the data, and then we can set up training for you.
This is my last question because my conference is on their way over to right now.
No problem.
So you might have said this already. So if we chose the option of a payment plan, would we not be able to set up until we made the final payment?
no.
Sorry?
Could we start setting up while we're making payments?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you.
No problem.
So,
So also just to let you guys know, so the $4.99 a month is the current pricing. Pricing will sometimes move up a little bit as we introduce new features into the product. So we are going to be having a new feature release soon. I don't see that increasing your price anytime in the near future, but it goes up nominally.
You get like 30 days notice, your next payment's going up.
Yeah. We're not going to like spring it on you and that kind of stuff. It's just a matter of like, here's a new feature that, and we're talking about massive features. We're talking about significant features and not just like, here's a new toggle for you guys. So what we do offer as well is if you do want to lock in pricing, we do offer a 1-year term that you can lock in for. And some schools do choose to do 3-year terms as well, because that locks in the price for 3 years. If you want to do a 1-year term, it would be, you could pay it all up front and you'd be locked in that price, $4.99. And at the end of that year, you have the opportunity to lock in for a 3-year term if you're happy.
And that rate
So it's up to you.
okay. So 1 year or 2 years.
But those rates never change though once you're locked in.
Sorry?
So once you're locked in to say a 3-year contract, our rates don't change?
No, they don't change.
They're locked in, Jane.
Okay. All right.
So that's basically you know, us saying, okay, you have confidence, you know, you're giving us your trust, and we're going to make sure that any feature that comes in, you pay the same price, as opposed to, you know, because we don't have a contract, our pricing rate there is no contracts. You can cancel at any time.
Guys, I'm sorry, I have to disconnect now. We have an appointment here, so I'm going to leave you with Jane.
Okay, no worries.
I got all my answers, my questions answered. So.
Okay.
All right, nice
pleasure speaking with you. Take care.
Andrew, Stacy is the person who you're probably going to be speaking to more.
Okay.
Only because she is our executive administrator, and she's the one who.
Turn you off. Oh.
Here you go.
So
Okay.
I'm going to probably then take down whatever information I need to be able to get back in touch with you,
Okay.
and talk to them about it, and
Okay.
and then probably get started as soon as possible.
Okay. So why don't we set a follow-up date? Because I know Monday is Memorial Day for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming, hopefully, you all are going to get to relax this weekend a little bit.
I
and,
hope so.
Enjoy a long weekend. Would it be okay if I followed up with you on Tuesday and see if we can get things going from that point?
I will not be here on Tuesday.
Okay.
But I don't want to speak for them. But if I could, you and I could maybe touch base maybe on Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah, that works. What time would work best for you?
How about at let me check my schedule thing. But one.
Just do
12:30.
12:30.
So this 12:30. All right. How about 12:30 on Wednesday?
Okay.
And that's June 1st, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So that's fine. So what I'll do in the meantime, what I'll do is I'll try and get you maybe two agreements so that you can see them. One for if you were to now, are you inclined to do the year or a 3-year agreement? Like if you were to choose to go through it, is there one that you'd be leaning towards?
If you did the 1 year, could you then lock in again after the year? Or no?
After the year, you have the opportunity to lock in for 3 years.
Okay, so I could do a year first,
Yep.
and then lock in for 3 years after that.
You got it.
Okay, I would probably think about that, if anything.
Okay. So that's what I'll do. I'll send you that anyways, just so you have it. And if everything is a go on Wednesday, then you just send that back and we're good to go. But in the meantime, what I'll do is I'll also get the answers to those 3 questions. So accessibility from the tablet, can you attach late fee after 7 days, and confirming messages before teachers send them.
Okay.
So that you have those answers beforehand.
And then if you can get me a copy of that scope.
Yes, in the scope and sequence form. Okay. Yeah, that's no problem at all.
Okay, great.
And I will also send you, I'll send you all the recording here. So just in case you have, you need to look back at it or anything like that, or have any questions, feel free to ask me questions anytime, but you'll have this as well.
Great, thank you. And now, and so your email I have, is there a direct phone number where I could get in touch with you?
Yes. So my direct line is 1-888.
1-888.
Yeah. 415. 4450.
4450.
Extension 110.
10. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Andre.
No problem. It's been a pleasure speaking to all of you. Absolutely.
Same here. Thank you for being patient. Now you will you be contacting me like this through email or on Wednesday, or are you calling me?
I'll give you a phone call on Wednesday.
Okay, and you have that. You have my information.
I believe so. Let me just jot it down again, just so I make sure I have your direct.
Okay.
What's your direct, Jane?
It's 973
Yeah.
338-8300.
8300. Okay.
Okay.
Jane. Okay. So yeah, expect an email from me, say in the next 20 minutes, with the answers to your questions as well as the scope and sequence and video, and I will follow up with you on Wednesday, provided you don't have anything for me before then.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
It's been my pleasure.
Thank you.
You enjoy your Memorial Day weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Take care.
Are you guys? Where are you from?
Toronto.
Oh, cool. So
yeah,
you're
we're not that far from you.
So you're not doing Memorial Day?
No, we had our Victoria Day, which is essentially our Memorial Day, this past weekend.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, enjoy your weekend anyway.
I will. I get to watch basketball tonight because our Raptors are in the
Oh, okay. Good.
So.
Good. All
Okay,
right.
take
Well,
care.
enjoy. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.